It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, today's one of those days. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss anything we have coming up. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Okay, guys, we are back to talk about Erika Girardi, her soon-to-be ex-husband, and all of the cases that are now surrounding them. This one specifically, her soon-to-be ex-husband, Mr. Girardi. So almost after a week of her husband's brother, Erika's brother-in-law, requesting guardianship of Mr. Girardi, and the court saying no, them denying it, Edelson filed a motion for pretty much fraud. Edelson filed a motion from Edelson PC. Jay Edelson, the founder of Edelson PC, has filed a motion opposing the appointment by calling it a fraud on the court. Initially, if you guys remember, when Mr. Girardi's brother, Robert, filed this motion to take over guardianship, he was saying that his brother is mentally incompetent and incapable of taking on all of these lawsuits, this involuntary bankruptcy, now this Chapter 7 bankruptcy, his divorce, and everything else that is piling up on his plate. His brother was saying that he suffers from short-term memory loss, and that's pretty much where they stand at this point. But the court wasn't buying it, and neither was Jay Edelson, obviously, from Edelson PC. Now, guys, if you remember, he said that my brother is incapable of realizing and understanding the repercussions of these bankruptcy filings against him and his law firm, Girardi Keese, well, the law firm that was. And notwithstanding it and hearing the information from various people, it's just almost like going in one ear and out the other. That's how he's painting this. He said, furthermore, my brother is not capable of making rational decisions with respect to his financial responsibilities and offers solutions that are just not possible. Now, Jay Edelson is claiming that this is a sham because when Mr. Girardi was in communications with him recently, as of December 2020, he was completely aware of what he was doing and that he was continuing, while knowing what he was doing, to not only string them along, but also the clients. But as soon as they accused him of lying on a phone call, Mr. Girardi immediately hung up the phone. They went on to say, in hindsight, it became clear to them that Mr. Girardi was using improper funds that did not belong to him, to pay off his own debts and pay off the creditors that he owed. The document also read that his communication with them in the months before they filed showed that there was some sort of calculation that went into this scheme. They said that he regularly demonstrated a command of the facts, and when they inquired about when their clients would receive settlement monies, he regularly provided them with enough insurances to just let them know that the drastic action was unnecessary, but remained general enough to avoid any course of action. The document also said that I take from that Mr. Girardi knew exactly what he was doing and that it was wrong. They said after they filed their motion, Mr. Girardi attempted numerous times to contact them in order to resolve the matter without a contempt proceeding. The document continues that the communications that occurred in December 2020 further showed that Mr. Girardi understood the nature and the consequences of his actions, and he continued to demonstrate a command of the facts of the litigation. Jay Edelson says there never was a concern about Mr. Girardi's health, not even from his partners, and he believes that once the U.S. District Judge Thomas Durkin announced that he was referring Mr. Girardi for a criminal investigation regarding the alleged embezzlement, that's when Mr. Girardi allegedly concocted the mentally incompetency defense. Edelson went on to say during this time they also had some conversations with some of Mr. Girardi's partners, and consistent with their impressions, no one believed that Mr. Girardi showed any signs of being incompetent or not being able to necessarily do his job. And that document ended with, in fact, to my knowledge, Mr. Girardi didn't show any signs or claim mental incompetency until he was faced with alleged criminal activity. Now, guys, this gets crazier and crazier because we've been following this case so close. And obviously, one of the biggest questions is, did Mr. Girardi know what he was doing? Was he and or his law firm allegedly embezzling this money? Were they stealing from widows and orphans? There are so many questions that are surrounding Mr. Girardi in this case. But from what Ronald Richards is saying, Judge Russell will never allow such a fraud, and this should be referred to the U.S. bankruptcy trustee for further investigation. This goes so deep, guys, and we're trying to keep our head on and really figure out what's going on, but there's so many different variables that are playing into this case. So it seems like the judge is not buying the mental incompetency play. It seems like no one is at this point. Again, you never want to discredit somebody's mental health, but at the same time, they're saying that this is a common tactic for someone who really knows the law, someone potentially like Mr. Girardi, to put this into play, saying that he is mentally incompetent and he does not know where these funds went. That way he can avoid criminal charges. Now, if that's the case, that would be terrible, but we obviously hope and expect the best out of everyone. But what everyone is wondering now is how much did Erika Jayne, Erika Girardi, Erika Chahoy, whatever you want to call her, how much did she know about this case? How much of the fraud did she know that was going on behind the scenes, or did she not know anything at all? Again, guys, when I ask you guys about the questions when it comes to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 11 and what's going to come into play, a lot of people are extremely divided. People feel like either, yes, Erika is going to come clean and try to clear her name by throwing him under the bus, because at this point, what else is there to do? And then others are like, no, she's definitely going to take the Elizabeth Lynn Vargas route. She's not going to talk about the divorce. She's not going to talk about legal matters and just claim that her lawyers have advised her not to do so. But unfortunately, Elizabeth Lynn Vargas was going through a divorce, and that was a private matter. While Erika is still going through a private matter, meaning her divorce, a lot of this, the alleged embezzlement, and many of the other lawsuits that they are facing are public matter, which means they might have to talk about it. Well, at least not Mr. Girardi, because he's not the one who signs the Bravo contract. But Erika Girardi would most likely have to talk about it, or be expected to. Now, not only have they had to file involuntary bankruptcy, but then Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The assets have allegedly been frozen, and they have two trustees who are going through all of their assets, trying to figure out what exactly they can take to pay back all of these people who have allegedly been frauded. If that's the case, we don't know where Erika will stand in her future, how much money she'll have left, how much money she won't have, and if it will still be expensive to be her. I'm not trying to be shady at all. Don't go ahead and rip my head off, but I'm just saying, going from $40,000 a month in glam amidst the nice cars, the multiple houses, private jets, this is a lifestyle that I don't believe Erika will be living anymore unless she marries somebody new. I don't think that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills check is going to provide private jets, but I could be wrong. You know, I've been wrong before. I'm so curious to see what you guys think, though. You guys never hold back on me. What do you think is going to happen with this case? Do you think that Mr. Girardi will be charged criminally? Will Erika be charged criminally as well? Or will Erika be freed of all of these charges because maybe she didn't know what was happening behind the scenes? I know you guys are probably getting sick about talking about this, but this is what's going on in the Bravo world right now. We're probably going to see this all come to light in the spring of this year when the show comes out. I can't wait to see the trailer, and we know that the trailer is going to heavily revolve around Erika Girardi. But do you think that this is going to be another Teresa and Joe Giudice case where the couple will be facing criminal charges? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching Up and Adam.